The following podcast contains spoilers and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to another episode of The Showdown. This is a special episode. We're not actually going to have a...
The Showdown.
We're not actually going to have a battle, if you will. This is kind of our year in review and our year of looking forward to what's coming up. We just wanted to do something special, and we didn't really have a lot of time to watch a couple different movies. So, without first, what we would do is do our top 10 lists. So, Brad, what is your top 10 best of 2014?
So, this was really tough to kind of remember what movies I had seen this year. And upon investigating, it turns out I saw about 15 movies that were made this year. So, in a particular order, from 10 being not as good to 1 being the one I enjoyed the most, 10 was Horns.
Horns. Haven't seen that one yet.
Daniel Ryan. Harry Potter.
Goes psycho?
Pretty much, yeah.
From the sounds of it?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter just causing mayhem and getting people to do crazy shit.
With a wand?
No, with horns. Hence the title.
Oh.
Nice lead in there.
Number 9, Big Hero 6.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, my daughter and I saw it, and it's not, it's a kid's movie, but it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it didn't, it looked okay, but I know it's like based on the Marvel comic.
Yeah, it's a Marvel comic.
But I think they do something where they didn't make it as Marvel.
They Disneyfy. It was their attempt to Disneyfy a Marvel IP. So they put a lot of Disney things
like the parents dying.
Well,
Disney hates parents. Have you noticed
that's
that?
True.
Every
that's
Disney movie,
true.
all the parents die.
Bambi's parents die.
And that's kind of fucked up because it's like, who do you think is paying for the tickets? Disney?
Well, the boy in Toy Story, his dad is not there.
Well, we don't know.
So maybe he died.
He could be blind. He could have just ran off.
Notice I didn't say that.
You were thinking it. I just got it out before you did. I was trying to jump your joke like you did his.
Yeah.
Number 8, I have Dumb and Dumber 2, which I know most people hated. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I liked it. I don't know why. I think what happened was I think the expectations were too high. Of course, they weren't going to match the original, but it was nostalgic. It had really funny moments outside of what you saw in the previews. And it told a good story. It finished off a good story.
See, I felt the opposite. I thought that a lot of the jokes were in the trailer, and the ones that weren't, they just fell flat, and I don't know, they just seemed forced. I was just like, this is not.
But if you
funny.
go back and watch the first, the jokes were just as forced, but you hadn't seen that style before. You hadn't seen, it was newer at the time, so you weren't expecting jokes like that jokes that forced to be that funny, and that's the same thing they did this time. It's the same people.
So much for not sticking to our normal format of arguing about a movie.
No, I thought
it works out well.
I thought that. I knew I wasn't going to like it as much as I like the original. But you can't expect that. You have to go in with. You got to temper your expectations. People don't do that enough,
especially with that long of a wait between the movie coming out again. You can't really expect it to hold up to what it did before. Exactly,
because honestly,
look at it as its own thing.
The only way it could have stood on its own is they would have had to deviate from the original. I don't think they wanted to do that. I think they wanted the spirit of the original. Like those, it felt like I'm guessing at some point you felt like, oh, this is too odd. Like this guy, no one's that dumb. It's too obvious of a joke, right? That's the same thing in the first one.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing in the first one, but again...
I'm agreeing with you. I said maybe so.
Oh, I thought... I'm not used to you agreeing.
I know. It's a shock, isn't it?
Well, it makes terrible radio, so...
Stop agreeing.
Right, way to fuck up the show.
All right, I'll go back. No, that's not right.
All right. Number 7. Maleficent. Another one I went with my daughter, and that's a good movie. It was... if you... As a parent, when you have to sit through these bullshit, terrible movies, it was one of the better ones.
I'll agree with you on that. However, that just barely it almost made my bottom list. Bottom 10
it made
list.
my top 10 list, actually.
Yeah,
for movies. I mean, when you're talking about like just it's a pretty interesting telling of the story. You don't really know anything about her backstory, so
you kind of realize that when you were a child, you were rooting for a giant douche.
Yeah, they were lying to us the whole damn time.
The king was kind of fucked up. Like, it was a pretty corrupt
big fucking lie.
patriarchy, whatever that word is.
Patriarch.
Patriarch, yeah. A pretty corrupt system they got there.
Yeah, I don't even know if I've watched Sleeping Beauty all the way through.
Oh, really? I loved that movie when I was a kid.
So
I think it was a dark Disney movie.
And then that's probably why I was just like, it's just that I didn't think it was all that great. So, but yeah, like I said, that was number 11 on my bottom list.
Well, number 6 on my top list.
Okay.
Another kids movie. You can tell who I go to the movies with. My girlfriend.
Or who goes to the movie with you?
Who is 14. No. Lego Movie.
Oh, yes.
That was a great movie.
Yeah.
Went very well done all around. You had Will Ferrell, you had Chris Pratt, bunch of other people.
I'll say this: I didn't expect what came out of that film. Because I know there's been a lot of straight to DVD Lego movies. And I figured it was just going to fall in that same category.
Well, and it was weird, like, because I didn't realize that they did things like this. So when somebody's like, "There's a Lego movie coming out," I was just like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, what's next? Monopoly?" Like, well, how do they
do Battleship?
Is it just going to be a guy stepping on little pieces and screaming at his child for a whole movie? Like, that's what I thought of it. I was blown away. How entertaining it was through the whole thing.
Yeah, and I spent the first few minutes sitting there trying to watch it real carefully, trying to figure out if it was really Legos or if it was animation. And from what the special features I saw on the Blu-ray is that it was animation, but they made it look like it was stop motion Legos.
Yeah.
So you definitely got to give them props for that.
And it was really funny.
Yeah.
And that's kind of rare in a kids' movie.
And heartfelt, too, if you think about it.
A little bit, yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. I've actually done a project with my son for school when we went to C9 for their graphics. They had to do a stop-motion animation, and we did that with Legos. And amazingly enough, like how all the motion moved and everything, like it really did feel like it was an actual stop-motion thing. So
how long did that take you to make?
It was 580 pictures for like 2 minutes of
so
animation.
It probably took you like 3 weeks to do.
No, we did it in a day, but it was so ridiculous. And there were 2 of us doing it, so
yeah.
But it was a little Star Wars pilot building a TIE fighter, and he got a pretty good grade on it. And it was fun, but it was just like watching that. I'm like, wow, for an animation, they didn't just go with you can draw things in animation and just make it work.
Yeah.
They actually went the extra mile to make sure that like certain things didn't happen, like they didn't turn, they didn't have to like spin. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it a lot.
That was really good.
All right, ready for the top 5?
Well, let's go ahead.
You want to get your...
We'll do my top
10?
5. Yeah, we'll each do our top 5, and then we'll switch to everybody's bottom.
You went from the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Started at 10.
No, well, that's
so
what I mean. I'll do 10 to 5.
Okay.
Number 10. This one actually surprised me. It just came out on DVD, and I totally did not expect to even care that much about it because it was it's adapted from a book, like a teenage book. It was it's not Twilight.
No, I already know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
Maze Runner.
Yes, it is. Maze Runner.
I was actually surprised because I enjoyed it too. I got roped into watching it Christmas Day with my kids, and I was like, I actually didn't hate this.
I know. It was. I was actually really surprised. I didn't have any expectations. I thought it looked interesting. And interesting enough that I'd watch it on DVD, because I knew that not only my wife but my daughter would probably watch it too, and my daughter didn't even watch it, and I actually liked it. I sat through the whole thing watching it.
Was your daughter like, that's pretty gay?
Yeah, pretty much. I think so.
It's like, look, Dad, I can't be part of this.
Yeah, so that's number 10. Number 9.
You know what, though? I'm not going to hate on you for that because I went to see The Hunger Games. I went on a date, but I secretly did kind of want to see it just when somebody gave me the basic synopsis of it. Mm-hmm. But was it as dark? Is that because the Hunger Games at its root is children murdering children?
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
Children forced to murder other children. By the way,
well, it doesn't go to that extreme. It's more of there's a survival aspect to it, but it's not kids having to kill other kids. So, but I will recommend for you Battle Royale. If you liked Hunger Games, definitely watch that movie.
Because Battle Royale is more fun than
it's lovely.
I'm pretty sure that's where she got the idea. It was kind
of
weird.
Yeah, but she won't admit it. Number 9, X-Men Days of Future Past. I thought this might be higher on the list, and honestly, because a lot of people are putting it real high on their list, because I was listening to other top 10 lists, and people had it like in the top 5. I'm like, there were just some things about it that I didn't like. And so that's why it's a little bit farther down on the list.
The fact that you could take certain characters out of the movie and the movie wouldn't change at all.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one part that I remember. Like,
spoiler, it's on my bottom list. I thought it was bad. Like, I thought it was just kind of, it's like, you're trying too hard.
Yeah, well, like I said, I had completely forgotten that it came out this year and that I had seen it. It's been coming back to me as we've been talking about it, but... And I love the X-Men itself as a
it's
comic
playing
book
behind us as we speak.
Well, and then just because they only did First Class, right? Like with the newer cast, the younger cast with Jeff Lawrence.
Yeah,
yes.
So they did one movie, and I thought that was a good movie.
I did like.
And then
they
were, it's just like. It's like they were kind of like the WWE. They had these nice young stars like the Shield, and then like, oh, we better put John Cena in. Like that to me was like Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry. They were like the John Cena. Just I've already seen that X-Men. They should have done another kind of backstory with that younger cast. Let them shine instead of having to
basically reboot it.
Exactly
with First Class.
Maybe do this crossover 2 or 3 movies later.
And the real idea of this crossover, it's from, if I remember correctly, from my comic book knowledge, it's a House of M. Is what it is. Yeah. And the storyline for it is a good storyline. They didn't necessarily have to combine those two in order to make that work.
Just because it's true to a comic book.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. Like,
okay. Well,
the idea of it is from that. Like what they're doing is from that, but they could have literally not put any of that in there. But maintain that storyline.
Anytime they put out a shitty comic book movie, the people that defend are like, "Well, it's off. It's it's true to this," and it's like, "But that doesn't make it good."
It doesn't, and they could have avoided it altogether. They could have done 2 movies and made this one, like you said, with the younger cast. Let them play it out.
Have them come in. Make another one with. If you think Hugh Jackman and them are that strong, put them in another solo movie and then have them compete. Give them at least 2 and then make it a trilogy to complete the younger cast. Yeah, the younger cast was excellent.
You only had one. You only had one person from the younger cast in here. Well, you had Fassbender and James McAvoy, so you had both of them. And didn't Jennifer Lawrence make an appearance too?
In this one?
Yeah,
she was.
Yeah. So you had 3 people. Everybody else was.
No, I thought the Beast guy was there too, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, but they the other ones they kind of killed off or moved them into bad guys, so they weren't really part of the. They wouldn't have been
the
part
fire
of the
dude too was there.
Yeah,
and I thought they kind of. I was disappointed.
Yeah, and I really liked First Class.
I did too. I thought that was
like,
a good movie.
But the X-Men, the main problem I have, and we're going to have the spoiler tag at the beginning, so we can say whatever we want. You're going to go back in time to get Quicksilver. Use him. The whole point was to go back in time. We got to get Quicksilver, and then he can help us get Magneto, and then we just drop him off.
I really don't like that. I don't like that version of Quicksilver at all.
Not really, no. And not only that too. It's like, okay, Quicksilver could have stopped that whole thing and changed that entire movie.
Yeah,
it could have been something totally different, but you let him go because he could have spit in there, ran in there, got what he had to do, and been out, and nobody would have known he was even there.
I've never really liked the way that they've done this whole X-Men series anyway. I don't like the fact that they made everybody younger and then like trying to age them up and then bring them back. And like you have people that are part of the original storyline for X-Men that are teenagers when other ones that are supposed to be basically the same time frame as them as adults, and that whole thing like from the start has always been an issue for me to really watch it and really enjoy it. So
they've screwed that up. They've screwed that up in every film.
I actually like the the Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch that they're using for Age of Ultron are the two. Those two are actually the ones from House of M. Like the way that they're acting are the two from House of M, which is really funny to me because now they're just kind of middle fingering the X-Men movie. But those two, like they're the